How's it going everyone? It's time to crack on with my Black Ops 2 weapon guides, and the weapon we're going to feature today is the QBB LSW, the big brother LMG to the Type 25. Just like the Type 25, the QBB is unlocked early on at level 4, and as we'll discuss in this guide, it has more similar traits to the Type 25 as an assault rifle than it does to a typical LMG. So let's get started and take a look at some of the QBB's general features. To say this weapon's an LMG, its damage figures are surprisingly low at 35 to 20. There's even some assault rifles and maybe even some SMGs that have higher damage figures than that. This equates to a 3 to 5 shot kill without any headshot multipliers dropping those figures, which makes this weapon a real hit marker machine, especially at long range. My main frustration with this weapon is it's one that you often shoot someone with and then stop firing before they've actually died. I ended up doing this on many occasions while collecting these clips and it absolutely did my head in. Another factor that might be partially to blame for this is its erratic recoil. This weapon tends to bounce around all over the place under automatic fire. And we can see a clear resemblance to the Type 25 with this weapon's aim sights, with it having that similar enclosure and front pin. So moving on to some more detailed stats for the QBB LSW. Just like the hammer, this is another LMG which comes in with a smaller magazine size of 75 rounds, unlike those belt-fed LMGs which come in with 100 rounds as standard. You can extend the QBB up to 100 rounds with the extended clip attachment, but that's not really worthwhile when you consider it takes up an attachment slot and there's other LMGs that have 100 rounds to begin with. While these stats so far don't really make it much of an LMG, its two outstanding features is its fire rate and its reload time, both of which are the fastest in its category. 937 rounds per minute is on par with the Type 25, and that's much faster than all the other LMGs. A fast fire rate like this means you're going to exhaust that magazine in a split second, especially considering you've only got 75 rounds to spare as opposed to 100, but at least it's got the fastest reload time of 3.72 seconds. So all in all, this weapon's got more stats that make it more of an assault rifle as opposed to an LMG, but you've still got those main LMG drawbacks of a slow aiming speed and a much slower movement speed. So I found this weapon a tough one to play with. Usually when I run an LMG I like to take on that traditional LMG support role. But with this weapon having low damage, quite erratic recoil, a fairly small magazine in comparison to the 100 round LMGs, as well as that fast fire rate, which means you can't really put down any prolonged fire. This means mowing people down as they come to a choke point is near impossible, so I found using this weapon more as an assault rifle in a run and gun playstyle worked out a little bit better. But still you've got those sluggish traits of LMGs that weigh you down, that slow aiming speed as well as that slow movement speed. So let's move on and take a look at my recommendations of attachments to remedy these drawbacks. If you try and run and gun with an LMG, you're just going to end up dropping down dead before even being able to open fire. So the first attachment I'd recommend is the quick draw handle. That's going to speed up that aim down sights time to allow you that little bit extra time to snap on target. Even with that benefit of quick draw though, you're still going to end up losing out on those gunfights, so one other attachment that's going to help with your mobility is the adjustable stock. Not only is this going to allow you to adjust your aim that little bit faster, it's also going to mean that you can aim down sights in advance, then wander around a corner all primed and ready to open fire. And if you really wanted to bling up your QBB LSW, you could go with the primary gunfighter wildcard and then run the laser sight to give you that increased hipfire accuracy. The laser sight on such as an SMG makes a big difference since it's got those tight hipfire crosshairs as standard, but with an LMG your shots can go anywhere in like a 5 meter radius. So while that laser sight is going to tighten up your hipfire accuracy, it's still not going to grant you Rambo's hipfiring abilities. So that's about it for my guide to the QBB LSW in Black Ops 2, and this weapon marks the LMG category complete for my little weapon guide series. Let me know if there's any particular weapon you've been looking forward to seeing me cover. I'll have to refresh my memory and have a look through my little list, but I think there's only a couple of assault rifles, maybe one SMG and a couple of secondary weapons left to cover. Don't forget, if you want to stay up to date with my videos, the best ways to do so is to either follow me on Twitter or Facebook, or even subscribe to the email newsletter. Links to all three are down in the description. Don't forget you can also check out the link to the playlist in case you've missed any previous episodes. Otherwise, thanks for watching, I'll catch you all later.